What simple life hack should everyone know? If you want someone to get more mad, you tell them to calm down. Sometimes changing your pillowcase daily can help with acne. I use a clean t-shirt over my pillow to accomplish the same effect. Honey does not go bad. If it has gone solid, it has just crystallized and can become liquid again with just a little heat. Read the 3 and 4 star reviews for the most reliable information on Amazon items. If you want to wear something white light in color, wear underwear that matches the color of your skin, not white. To confirm which circuit breaker is associated to an outlet, plug in an old radio and turn the volume up before you flip the circuit breaker. If you put something down temporarily, say out loud, "I've put the screwdriver by the microwave," or whatever. This engages many more areas of the brain, particularly the language centers, which creates a richer memory, making it less likely you'll forget where you put it. When you're cooking and the recipe calls for onions and garlic, don't put the garlic into the pan until the onion is nearly translucent. Garlic cooks way faster than onions do. If you throw them in at the same time, it won't taste as good, the garlic will burn. It literally takes 30 seconds for minced garlic to cook. Also, if you're a home cook, sharpen your knives often. Thought of a few more tips. Love chives and parsley in your eggs, omelets, anything else, but hate the hassle of cutting them using the herbs before it turns? Get dried chives and dried parsley instead. It rehydrates quickly and sauces eggs and tastes the same. It's also way cheaper. This tip can apply to a lot of herbs. While fresher is always better, dried is often still delicious while still being in a student-wide budget. Add a bit of vinegar to your beans if you're making anything beany. A lot of home cooks think that vinegar is gross, and it is by itself, but a dash of vinegar can really make beans, sauces and marinades pop. If you ducked up, admit it, unless you are talking to cops. But in most situations, just admitting how you were wrong and accepting responsibility is so much easier than trying to blame someone or something else or make up an excuse. When you own the mistake, it puts the onus back on the other person to accept that. Be mature and move on. If you try and deny or shift blame, it forces that person to examine those reasons, and if they are BS, come back at you, dragging the process out and leading to unpleasant call-outs and confrontations. If you throw a house party where you, as the host, plan on getting quite drunk, start the cleanup while drunk. Trust me, waking up to a clean house when you're hungover is fantastic. Drunk you will barely remember, and sober you have so much less to worry about in the morning. Don't take life advice from internet strangers. If there's a jar or container you can't open, run the lid under hot water for a 30-second. Dry it so you can get a good grip, then open. Never had this not work. Some pretty good stuff on here. Not necessarily a hack per se, but learn some basic knife skills. The amount of time you will save chopping vegetables a few times a week, minimum, for the rest of your life far outweighs the amount of time it takes to learn. Plus you can use the extra time to keep the kitchen clean, and that makes everything less stressful while you're cooking and makes the cleanup faster as well. Manners and general politeness will get you far and become the norm with but a small amount of practice. I'm not talking overboard, lady, but a simple please and thank you with a genuine smile. You don't actually need to keep contact with your family. If a relationship with them causes any anguish, you're allowed to cut them out. Their failures aren't yours. If you bring something to someone's house that you don't want to forget, put your keys with it, assuming you can trust the people there. Also, get a tile or similar Bluetooth device so you never lose your keys or phone again. Eat Cheetos with chopsticks. As soon as you wake up, drink 2 pints of water, about 1 liter. It will wake you up like caffeine and get you pooping in about 30-45 minutes, like clockwork. You will often have to make decisions in life without being able to know all the information related to the choices. Being able to identify what you don't know is invaluable. It allows you to make assumptions and contingency plans if those assumptions fail. I want to slap every person that quips. If you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. You cannot function in life without making assumptions. The trick is to identify them as such so that you can be better prepared when they are resolved. Always poop on company time. This way, at the end of the year, you will have earned like 2 workdays pay by pooping. Hence you will be a professional pooper and also less money spent on toilet paper at home. If you have a spare minute or are just playing video games or on a computer at home, take a few minutes to just pet your dog, cat and really appreciate them. A phrase I heard somewhere just really stuck with me. Pets are only a part of your life, but you are your pet's entire life. Whenever you have a time to be somewhere, aim to be there 15 minutes early to allow for time snags or for traffic. People respect punctuality. If you want to open a glass jar, like jam, pickles, and the lid won't move, place a spoon with the tip under the edge of the lid and pull the spoon upwards. The lid will bulge and you can open the jar. Brush your teeth more thoroughly before bed after you are done eating and drinking for the day. Morning brushing is important too, but more so for fresh breath, while evening cleaning will prevent bacteria from breeding and damaging your teeth and gums. Get into a routine of stretching your hip flexors and chest if you sit for long periods. Absolute game changer for people who suffer with chronic lower back pain as a result of being hunched over a desk. No one actually knows what they are doing. Tell the people you love that you love them, or often. You can write two F's together and cross them both with the same line. It's super stupid, but you'll look classy as duck. Great trick if you're a teacher or have to write on a whiteboard for some reason. Always post on your cake day for that boost in karma. If you have trouble choosing, flip a coin. While you're waiting to get the result, your mind automatically starts to wish for what it wants. Then you can choose easily. Become attractive and the world is your oyster. If you're in a public restroom having to poop and are using an automatic flushing toilet, put a bit of toilet paper over the motion sensor at the back. This will prevent it from flushing before you're ready, which might scare and or splash you. Also, a tiny bit of paper on the water itself will prevent the splash when you drop your poop. Just remember to take the paper off when you are done to initiate the flush. Mostly applies to the USA. Don't buy things you can't afford. The easiest way to remove blood stains is to use bar soap and hand wash it. Works better than using laundry detergent. Train yourself to always keep an eye out for things that need to go in the direction you are going. If you are about to go downstairs, does any item nearby need to go with you? Perhaps a cup can be brought to the sink on your way to the bathroom. If you ever fall off a ship ferry at sea and were lucky enough to be spotted, don't try to swim your way to safety. The more you try to swim, the lesser the chances of survival. Just try to keep afloat and conserve energy and body heat while rescue team do what they're supposed to. Unless you are in hypothermic waters, the best bet always is to stay afloat without trying to swim to somewhere. This information about falling overboard, hypothermia and conditions, survival at sea etc. are based on my own experience of 12 years sailing on merchant ships like this. PS. Link will take you to a time-lapse video I made when crossing sailing under the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, USA. This kind of ship is called a container ship. If you use a bidet, you'll never have to worry about running out of TP during a global pandemic. Not really a life hack, but a general advice. Do what works for you. It doesn't matter if it's unconventional. If it works, it works. I have had it, and for me that means keeping things organized is difficult AF. I also have a hard time remembering pretty much anything. I keep my laundry in boxes underneath my bed, organized by color. That way I won't forget anything in the laundry basket. I just empty the whole thing into the washer. Also makes it easier to see what I have to wash first. I live in Sweden, and here we have sort of a deposit, sorry if that's not the right word, on most plastic bottles and cans. That is, we pay like 20 cents for the bottle can. We then return it and get the 20 cents back. Most people keep those bottles and cans in like a wardrobe or such. However, I am terrible at putting those in there. I forget to bring them there and it just starts to pile up. Instead, I had a laundry basket just within reach from my bed, so I just had to lean out and put it in there. Unconventional, but it worked. I have like a million of these weird hacks going. But the important part is that it's okay to do what works for you. It doesn't matter if other people are able to just do it. If it's hard for you, it's hard for you. I've had to explain my solutions a few times, but in the end, most people agree that sure, it might not be what they're doing, but it's better than the alternative. Mask? Glasses? No worries. Use dish soap and wash your glasses with it. Here's the catch. Don't use water, just wipe off the soap with a soft towel and fog is no more. Every public bathroom becomes a private bathroom when you start sitting in a urinal. 5 minutes of daily exercise is infinitely better than 0 minutes and will make a big difference. Don't discuss politics at work. If you're planning on spending a decent amount of time drinking at a busy bar, always make sure you give the bartender a really good tip on your first order and ask them how they're doing before you order. Chances are you won't have to wait very long on your next couple of orders. If you can maintain eye contact with a checkout lady during the entire transaction, anything you hide on the bottom of your cart is free. Learn how to cook 2 or 3 meals. Use as little out-of-the-box items as possible. I make chicken alfredo, spaghetti and meatballs and tuna or chicken casserole. This means the excuse for eating out all the time is not as prevalent and is something you can do to show off a little bit. If you want to save time, don't have kids. In a pinch, the seatbelt in your car can be used as a bottle opener. Putting your Oreos in the fridge makes them taste far better than room temperature Oreos. Most of life is just showing up to things. Most of the time keeping your mouth shut is a great option. When you have cold cereal, put the bowl and a glass of milk in the freezer for about 10 minutes beforehand. It will be the best cereal you've ever had. The milk stays cold, and it keeps the cereal from becoming soggy so quickly. You can also just perpetually keep an empty bowl in the freezer, which works for cereal or ice cream. Edited words. Stop wasting money on chip bag clips. My kids always break them, so I buy clothespins instead. You can get a pack of 50 at Walmart for about $1. Rinse your rice before you cook it. This might be an obvious one to some people, but rinsing it really does noticeably improve it. I haven't looked back since I was taught it not terribly long ago. Alright, the government doesn't want you to know this, but the ducks in the park are free. You can take them home. Don't cough if you have diarrhea. I heard it's game over. If you're having trouble getting your baking paper to fit your tray, scrunch it up first and then unfurl it. It stays in the pan easier and fits like a dream. If you need help, ask for help. It's a strength, not a weakness. In a lot of daunting situation, for example asking someone out or standing up for yourself, you only need to be brave for a few seconds to get it over with. Never give a flying duck what anyone thinks about you. Never talk to cops in case of any serious legal trouble. Always ask for a lawyer. Surprised how many people don't really know this. Whenever somebody you know mentions something that they like, need, or favorite things, keep a note of it on your phone. Eventually you'll have a list for all your friends and family that you can dip into whenever you need to get them a gift. That X% of Y is the same as Y% of X. 8% of 25 is the same as 25% of 8. Makes calculating sales at stores much easier, if we ever go back to stores. Hanging picture frames. Put painter's tape from edge to edge on the top side of the frame. Trace where the hangers are. Peel the tape off. Then stick it to the wall where you want your frame hung. Tap your nails into the premarked spots. Then remove the tape and hang your frame. If you get caught up in a riptide, swim diagonally or parallel to the shore. If you swim perpendicular to the shore, the riptide will pull you further away from it and you will waste your stamina. I'm pretty sure this has been addressed already, but knowing this can save your life. Never piss off the people who prepare your food. If you fry kale in olive oil, it slides off the plate into the bin much easier. Oh boy, I ducked that up. I'm sorry. I'll try and fix it is a lot easier to say with some practice than excuses or shifting blame. After you say that, it's on the other person to act as maturely as you just did. Buy a pack of bagels. Slice them all into halves, the way you usually do before you chuck them in the toaster. Put them back into the pack plastic bag whatever and into the freezer. Result equals pre-sliced bagel you were going to toast anyway, plus no chance of mold and waste. Sometimes you agree with people so that they stop talking. If you make a mistake, don't hide it. Own up to it when you realize your mistake. But when you confess to your mistake, have a solution ready to suggest. That way, You're accepting responsibility, but you're also moving the focus to the solution. You'll be seen as proactive rather than error prone. When writing an essay, Wikipedia is not considered reliable, but using Wikipedia sources and footnotes are 100% reliable, and not even anti-cheat software can trace it. Some gas stations have screens that play ads while you're filling up. If you press a button on the right of the screen, I forget if it's the second from the top or bottom, there's a good chance the ad will be muted. It doesn't always work, but it's nice when it does. If you want to crack an egg, do it on a flat surface instead of an edge. Much less likely to get shell in your egg. Dissolve 4 aspirin tablets, uncoat it, or soak, then scrape off the coating in a bit less than a quart of water. Add white vinegar, around an ounce or 2, up to the top. Shake well. Massage a spoonful of this into your scalp once or twice a day, morning after shower and before bed. Itchy and flaky scalp, gone. Especially in winter, works best if hair is washed daily, as that keeps scalp moisturized. Shower or bathe before you shave, especially if your hair is coarse. Moisturize after and you won't get bumps, rash or burns. Wash jizz off with cold water, not warm or hot water. If you have a cold pizza, put it in a frying pan with a tiny bit of oil and then put a sheet of tin foil over the top. It will then reheat the pizza to perfection. For people with short fingernails, mostly men, push down on the closed end of a soda can top to push up the other side to make it very easy to open. When pulling out all the ingredients to make a sandwich, bake a second sandwich. Boom. Extra sandwich. For back acne, after you rinse conditioner out of your hair, clip it up off your back. The last thing you should do in the shower is wash your body. This removes any residual conditioner or shampoo that may have been left behind. These can irritate acne if left on your skin. Get restaurant quality food at home by adding a little extra salt, butter, and turning down the lights. Simple. Learn how to manage your money. I think it should be taught in school. So many young people waste money on it they don't really need. Always have a rainy day stash. If you accidentally close your browser tab, hit Ctrl+Shift+T to bring it back. If you closed multiple ones, just keep pressing it. Sometimes you have to work hard. Sometimes you have to work smart. But learning to work smart will not come without actually working hard. Go to the dollar store. Buy a 4 or 5 I love you cards. Give them randomly now and then to your partner, so for no reason whatsoever. Don't use an alarm tone when you wake up in the morning. Just set your phone to vibrate. You won't feel as groggy when you wake up. I guess the tone startles you awake and interrupts the body making cortisol, which wakes you up calmly. Don't know how true the science is, but however it works, it's been working for me for years. 1. When you study, always read the summary after every chapter, extra careful. 2. When you study, use mind maps, color coding, and before a test reread your notes before going to sleep. 3. When you study, try to understand the whole picture first rather than memorize the specific. A place for everything and everything in its place. Being incredibly lazy. We've established also places for commonly used items, kitchen utensils, office letter opener, facial tissue boxes in the pantry, etc. Always storing items in the same place or returning them to their assigned spot means they're never lost, and or it's always obvious if we need to purchase more. If you write for a website and you don't have any idea about what to write, make a thread in our Ask Reddit. You might need a few bots to give it initial visibility. Have an item that broke and don't have a receipt to return it. Go buy another one and use the receipt to get a refund on the broken item. When cooking, clean as you go. It has changed my experience in the kitchen significantly. The social points you won by wasting your money on worthless status symbols like the latest phone, sneakers, headphones, etc. do not count for anything. What does last is investment. At least get a savings account with interest. Better is get an annuity with compound interest. Deodorant. Looking at you MTG and ballet players. Don't go to bed with wet hair, especially up in a bun or braids. Not only can you make your pillow get moldy, but you can get a yeast infection on your scalp.